Sorry, I was just reading one of my new favorite novels. It's called Good Boy. It's a coming-of-age story.
It's definitely a coming story for sure.
And
I'll see you next
back.
week. Welcome back to another series in the Boys Love franchise. We are covering our first Taiwanese BL.
Yes,
This
we're back
is
to BLs.
History 3 Trapped.
I guess we should have looked up what's the history of the histories. Why is this the third one? Is it like American Horror Story, but it's gay?
I think there's multiple History 3s.
Oh, but they're not
it's
connected?
like the first. It's like History 1 is the first year of the histories, and they're all different stories.
We're gonna start cold right in, but we also asked. I think people were like, "You don't need to watch the rest. They're all their own thing." So yes, our first Taiwan.
It's our first Taiwan. Anything you noticed about Taiwanese BL as opposed to this is now our fifth country we've covered?
There's a lot of similarities, like how they shot and how they structure Stay With Me, but it's definitely less.
It has an ending.
The episodes do end,
and that needs to be said.
Yeah, the episodes do have endings.
It's not all dubbed.
Yes, the dub. Yes,
there was one ADR.
Yeah,
that I noticed.
ADR for ADR's sake.
Right, regular ADR energy.
And not like dubbing to like make everyone sound consistent or whatever. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of like a mix of Thai and Stay With Me, like Chinese. Like it has the like more of the sentimental melodrama that it had in like Stay With Me, but production quality very much like Thai. Like certain aspects of it.
It felt like a K-drama.
Oh, really?
To me. Yeah.
I just feel like K-dramas have way more sheen.
I thought this was pretty well produced.
It does,
the only thing where I was like, oh, this is weird, was just the shot where Zhao Lian chases after Xiao Fei.
Oh, yeah,
and he's like, and he like follows him out. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they're like around that like fountain in the middle of they come out of the police headquarters, and he's like, oh. They like freeze. That was the only shot where I was this is weird, because you can tell they're like steady camming it, which is not usual, but
I mean like goofy like sound effects.
Sound effects definitely for sure, but I think only a couple. It wasn't.
It's specifically just his character.
Yes, for sure.
Goofy twinks.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of a lot of them.
Yeah,
it's a kind of
So I'm interested.
The audio. Great.
Yeah.
Not a Thai BL audio. Love that. So History 3 Trapped starts off, and we are dropped right into the fucking middle. Plot.
It's your fault if you don't catch up.
What is this called? When you start...
Oh my god, we do this
mise en
every
scène?
time. In media res.
In media res. Thank you. Thank you. Every single time we do this.
Every single time.
We are in media res, in the middle of the action.
And we are experts on...
Oh,
like film, TV.
There's no doubt. I mean, people are coming here and they know that we are two really scholars in our field.
Yeah.
Of
subject matter experts of
media, BL, it's just all of it.
Taiwan,
East Asia.
Yeah.
Just kind of like human connection. Really anything.
Man-to-man connection specifically, I think.
Blum. So, Tang, who is a man that looks like that.
Oof. Body bang, body T.
Face T. Jawline T.
Handsome Squidward.
For sure.
Meets Park Jae-up.
Meets
Ompawat.
It's really, again, it's they're blending all the other BLs.
It's almost like there's like a BL beauty standard of like a cold...
I think that's
BL,
pretty.
Or is
I
that
feel
just
like that's
kind of,
common.
Okay,
that's like I think straight people have that. Thing too.
But it's just interesting because like
it's the cold, aloof, chaebol kind of that energy.
Usually, it's so like common. A strong jawline is like the key.
I think that's cross cultural. I think people love a strong jawline.
Yes, something about it just like ooh.
masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we're podcasters.
Yes, that's why.
We have a face for podcasting.
That's why if you're so offended by watching this, you can listen to it on Spotify
Yeah, if you're
or
like
Apple Podcasts.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh, my eyes. Tangi is meeting with
What? Just a bad drug
it's
lord.
mafia. It's mafia. We're playing mafia.
Yeah.
He's having a meeting. It's very Godfather energy.
Yes.
It's very a show I watched, Vincenzo Fish.
Oh yes.
So, which also kind of starts in a similar way where you're just dropped right into the middle of like whatever's happening.
I think that's like just like it's like a mafia thing. Because it's like, it shows you that like this has been going on for a while.
Right,
You
well,
as the
because the
audience
crux
are
of this is it's a mystery.
Right.
Which is, this is our first BL that's a mystery.
Oh yeah. A murder mystery.
Right. Which is interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's not the first one I've ever watched that's a mystery, right? Because I famously watched...
You famously watched Dead Friend Forever.
Dead Friend Forever, and I watched Playboy, two of the great mysteries of our time.
Agatha Wishes.
The
Do you know what I
mystery
mean?
around Playboy was, why did it get made? That was the real mystery. But did you have a feeling when we were watching it where you were like,
History
I don't
3?
know. Yeah, the show where we watched, the show that we're talking about. Did you have a feeling like, what are we going to talk about?
A little bit, because I'm like, is it just going to...
We have only
We're just
had, up
charting
until this
plot.
point, character-driven things that we have recapped.
Yes.
For BLBL.
Yes.
So I got a little nervous that I was
'Cause
like,
it's like,
oh,
oh,
it's
this is
just
so
going to be
plot.
us re-examining plot.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more I think it just means we're going to have shorter episodes, which is great for me and great for you since you're editing. But also, I think we can still weed through. We don't have to get in the weeds of the plot and still kind of feature on like what we like about blah 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 blah.
Right.
So he's meeting with his group. Okay. He walks out of the room. They all draw their guns. He walks out of the room, and then in comes the police, and it's a sting. So the police take whatever. Andy Bian's in the room. He has red hair. It
Andy
doesn't
Bian's...
look
Yeah. Andy Bian is like...
good. Is it Bian or Bian?
I don't know. Andy. Let's just call him
It's
Andy.
Well, we're on a first.
Andy, we're on a first
name basis. Yeah.
Girl, after what I've seen.
Intimate.
We are intimate.
Intimate.
Andy is like is Tangi's like bodyguard. His name's Jack in the show.
He's his body T. Yeah.
Yeah, his body. Ooh, 2 body T's. Ooh.
Well, Andy is skinny in this.
Yeah.
He's slimmer. He's
He's
slimmer,
slimmer,
than
but he is not.
Here. This is 2019. This is 5 years ago.
Yeah, and this is
RJ 2019, by the way, was 5 years ago. Is that crazy to say?
the year we got married.
Yeah. I was slimmer 5 years ago too, Andy. We have that in common.
Yes. So maybe like we could hang out.
Yeah,
You know, we have so much in common. Yeah, his name is Jack. He is like a hired hand. He's not like his bodyguard.
I don't even know.
You don't know.
I don't know if he's
because he has an
They
assistant.
refer to him as brother. He's brother Andy, or he's not brother Andy. He's brother Jack.
Brother Jack.
But I don't know if it's like
that's like young.
a term
like
of, yeah.
everyone is a brother. Everyone is a cousin. Yeah.
So
I think he's just like someone that works for him and kind of an enforcer type.
yeah.
Because Tangi leaves and Jack's there like, you're not chasing him.
Sis.
Stick him up, bitch.
I think it's shocking you've never been in a crime drama. Why
crime
are you
drama.
not cast in Chicago PD?
The sting is led by Xiao Fei, who
has that haircut?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hair choices. There is a lot of very bold
hair choices.
Everybody has a bold hair choice.
Because even Tangi's like specific like
undercut with the huge swoop.
And I'm like,
which is it's very pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah. That feels very correct.
A lot of because I think I had an undercut.
The bob.
Oh, the bob.
There's a bob later. There's a lot of haircuts. There's a lot of hair. There's a lot of hair going on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like the actors have hair in this show.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
pretty
really
shocking.
crazy.
Yeah.
Xiao Fei is like, "Where's Tangi? Where's Tangi?" And they're like,
"We don't know. He wasn't here.
He was never
here.
Just Jack. It's just Jack. Just Jack. It's just Jack, but there you go. Arrest the girls or whatever.
Yeah, there's a whole mob. A familia.
A famiglia.
A famiglia.
Yeah. Olive oil.
So he chases Tangi out. He holds him at gunpoint and is like, you used me to capture this clan, basically. And Tangi's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then he's like, 4 years ago. And now it's gonna be the rest of the episode.
Okay,
we're gonna
there's
talk
an
about
episode
4
where
years
just like
ago.
4 years ago because they literally have to explain the plot. This first episode.
And honey, they had to explain it for me because I was the one being like, sorry, can we go back?
so
I
4 years
literally
ago.
just before we recorded had to scrub through the episode again to be like, what actually happened in this episode? That was when I realized that I was like, oh, he set him up to
catch,
have him arrest them.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand the beginning of this episode until 20 minutes ago. Guys, I'm so much better with character stuff.
Yeah. This is going to be a real challenge for us.
Yeah.
Plot-wise.
It is. But I think, you know what? We accept.
Yeah.
I think we can be enriched by a challenge. I think
Totally.
We stand defiant in the face of adversity.
But the whole thing is Tangi is like, you're really not going to forget about what happened 4 years ago, blah, blah, blah. You still have this like anger and resentment. Resentment. Because he keeps being like, my alibi was clean 4 years ago, so I don't know why you're still trying to chase after me. So already establishing, okay, Xiaofei is trying to get something on Tangi, but he cannot.
Yes. There's no warrant. They go to the police precinct. We are going into a very classic cop show. Where it's like the guy won't let it go. The one detective
won't let this cold case, which we're not even sure yet if like, is it a cold case or is it
closed? Is it open?
Close, open. But the police chief is like, I've told you 1,000,000 times, Johnson. Like, this case is closed. Don't you remember? And then literally explains.
And then they go into a conference room
They
where
have
the
a fight.
table is held up by chains because this is a WeWork that production is using
as a
police precinct.
Yes, as like a detective or like
it's
a
so
special
clearly
crimes unit.
not a police precinct. I promise you, there is not a single police station in the world that is using an iMac computer. There's none. I promise you.
I promise you
this.
Lenovo's, Dell's, lots of Dells.
What's the one?
ThinkPads.
ThinkPads. It's all ThinkPads.
It's all ThinkPads.
It's a brick. It weighs 30 pounds.
Do you think the government is paying for Macs?
No.
They're paying for Chromebooks.
Say that. Clock that T.
Clock that T. But
Anyway.
the chief is fully just explaining like, 4 years ago, we told you there was no evidence. Tangi was shot. That's why, or blah, blah, blah.
It's a lot of very sweaty exposition.
Yes.
For sure. I wasn't annoyed by it because it does go quickly.
Right. But it loses the charm of, like the chismes of the aunties and stay with me.
Yes.
We don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the only friends of like, they're just like, oh, there goes, Mew. He's such a blah, blah, blah.
Well, they set it up by having a voiceover.
That's true.
In that first episode of being
That's
like,
true.
everyone has a role at the club. The whore. The drunk. The slag. 4 years ago, there was a huge sting operation. A police officer was killed. That is pointed out. And as soon as they said it, I was like, you don't add that line without it being important. And it was. And then
a police officer was killed, but then all of the group, the company,
the only survivor was
Tangi, who got shot in the heart.
A hole in his heart.
A hole in his heart that only a man can feel.
Yeah.
So you'll see later he has a beautiful, gorgeous scar on his.
Yeah, he has a scar. He that he shares with his sister. He really makes sure she's aware that it's there.
Yeah, we kind of figured that one out too.
Well, there's a lot to talk about there. he lost a ton of blood.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely nearly died. It was not like it wasn't a lie. They asked him questions. He was cleared of everything. Blah 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 blah. Okay. But why won't Xiao Fei let it go? This is now the mystery for this episode.
Yes.
Is what is driving
him
to like figure this out, because the captain
is like, why would he get shot? And if it was him, like, that makes no sense.
A little bit. There's an insane energy of like, why are you still doing this? This is like, it seems like the case was closed. It doesn't seem like it's a cold case.
Yeah.
Everybody died.
Yeah.
Except for Tangi. Jack had been arrested during the scene, then Interpol is now going to take him.
Interpol.
International Police. I didn't know that that's what that meant, literally, until Zhang Hao did that. I'm not kidding.
Literally? Interpol? You never
I just knew it was Interpol. I just knew it was Interpol. I didn't know what Interpol was.
Oh, okay.
I knew it from Are You Ready for This? Where I know Interpol from.
Uh-huh.
A movie. Also, a Beyonce OST. Pink Panther with Steve Martin.
But what's like M16? Is that also
MI6.
like a MI6? Is that also a global like
that's
or
UK
that's just
CIA.
UK? Oh, okay. But Interpol, is that like, do they have jurisdiction across all countries?
That's what I don't actually know. It seems like they have something. Are they the UN's police?
Are they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I thought people just get extradited. I would assume there's like an EU Interpol,
Right.
since they're all in a union.
Yeah, maybe.
Should we just spend the next hour talking about this? I think this could be fascinating, but not look anything up.
Yeah.
Just throw ideas
Just
off
like
each other. Yeah. Lob ideas.
But it is, I mean, like, again, classic cop show of like the feds. Someone higher up is getting in on is meddling in.
Your local police is the ragtag group of people.
They're always like, we're not the cleanest, we're not the blah blah blah, but we have the heart.
Okay, girl. Sure, girl.
How about just do your job?
Just do your job. I don't need the story, girl. Yes. So the Interpol takes Jack. Xiao Fei is told that he can't keep doing this. He can't keep chasing after Tangi.
And what does he do? She
chases after Tangi. So they go, him and Xiaolian, who is Goofy Twink.
Goofy Twink is quickly becoming my favorite character.
Stay tuned for MVPs. They go to where Tangi is on like Wednesday afternoons.
Yes,
because he knows his schedule.
Literally,
so well.
He's like, I know his schedule. He starts off at the suit shop where he owns
it.
And then he goes here and goes here and goes here.
Still questions, no idea.
Because when they let him in, I guess he does. Because
she says the owner
wants you to come in.
Yeah.
And then at the time, I was like, but there's another man, but that's his assistant.
Yeah.
It's not the owner. Mm-hmm. So he does on the suit shop. He
doesn't wear suits. I want to be very clear about this because this actually bothered me. Mm-hmm. If you own a suit shop, I feel like you should be wearing full suits. He's wearing, so far, he's only really worn, in that first scene, he had on a full suit, full pinstripe suit. But so far, he's really been wearing like just a pair of black pants
and then
a jacket. And I just, like, if you own a suit store, I want to see you in a full suit. Like, I want to see the whole two-piece, maybe a 3. Throw on a vest. Throw on a waistcoat.
Yeah.
He wears a waistcoat. He doesn't wear a waistcoat. You know what I mean? He wears eyeliner. He doesn't wear eyeliner.
But he is telling Xiao Fei to be like, hey, thanks for capturing those guys. That whatever. You deserve a suit. I'll give you one on a discount.
Yeah.
And obviously Xiao Fei is like, I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your charity. I'll buy my own suit.
Because the chief's daughter is getting married.
Yes. That's why the chief is like stressed.
I think he'd be allowed to be stressed even if he didn't have a daughter getting married.
Yeah.
I would be stressed as the chief of police.
That's just the chief of police.
I think that's a job you take home with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of those you
lose
don't
sleep.
lose it, leave it at the office.
Yes.
You don't go, nope, clocking out.
No.
After the suit shop, they go back to Xiao Fei's apartment, and I can't remember. Xiao Lian, I think it's just Lian is his first name, because Zhao is his last name. Lian is like, it seems like you're kind of really obsessed with Tang Yi.
It's so funny because he's in the BL. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
Fuzhou.
he's in the BL. Everyone else
Oh,
is
you're saying in the world.
in the world.
In the BL.
He's in the BL
Yes.
of the show.
There's two plots.
There's
the
two
BL
shows.
plot, and then there's the murder mystery.
The murder
plot.
mystery
Lian is in the
is
BL
already
plot.
in the BL because I think it's gonna end
Everybody's
up in
gonna
the
get
BL.
there, right?
But he's already there. So
He's
he's just
already
like,
there.
why
He's
are you
coaxing.
so... Yeah. He's like, why? Wow, he gave you a suit. He's so handsome. I mean,
You have a picture that you sketched of him.
that's pretty
You
good.
know his height, and I was like, well, height is. I mean, all that's kind of important to being a detective. I would assume
That's true.
I've never been.
I've never been a detective.
Shocking. What if I was like, oh yeah, guys, my day job is I'm a detective.
would've
It's important
shut-
to see myself on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have shut down this Interpol would have shut down this.
Interpol, International Police. Yeah.
I think this character is gay because there was that moment where when Jack was like, they were all in the office and Jack was like, aren't you guys supposed to be the police? Shouldn't you be able to do something? And like,
Well, just from the 2-minute long title sequence.
You
it
do see
seems like Jack and Leon are gonna
be the B couple.
and we love
Yes.
love to see it.
And I
A goofy B couple? Bitch, if you don't sign me up.
a goofy B couple where one is maybe an assassin and the other one
Sure.
is a goofy.
Isn't that the plot of
detective?
Barry? Did
Yeah.
Barry rip off History 3 trapped B couple?
Return the Emmys.
Return them. We're doing well so far. We're minute 20 of this 45-minute episode. This is technically 2 episodes. I
That's
actually
true.
didn't know how to
We didn't-
differentiate it
yes.
on the thing. This is when it was released, there were 2 episodes.
On YouTube
But on Viki, they combine it into one.
to one full episode. Yeah.
Okay. We cut now to Tang Yi, who's at home.
Who's at home in a
stressed.
and you know what hot chaebols do when they're stressed? Take a shower and put their hand on the wall as the water.
There's something
hits
about
their
there's something
chiseled
about
bodies.
Do you, when you stand in a shower, do you face okay, I have to ask you this. I don't actually know. Are you standing facing the water or do you face away from the water?
Oh, I face the water.
I face away from the water. It hits my
Really?
back.
Oh, interesting.
I never face the water. I face the water if I'm like rinsing off. But like while I'm just like relaxing in the shower, I face away from the water. So it goes down my back.
Oh,
Do you think most people face the shower?
I think so.
Is that normal? Am
think so.
I the wrong one?
I think you're the freak.
Is somebody gonna match my freak?
Guys, please comment below if you match Adam's freak of facing away from the water.
Away from the water. Okay, because anytime in media, everybody always say, I mean, that must be everybody faces the shower. I'm the weirdo. Fine.
But in media, they do the back because I feel like
Well, he does a lot of turning around.
He does. He's thinking. He's contemplating. He's like really
stressed.
stressed.
He's
There's so
pacing.
much, and we like kind of don't know why. Like he asks his assistant like, "Where's Jack?" And they're like, "Jack's been taken into custody."
Yeah,
And he's like,
we'll get him out.
"We'll get him out, and then tell him to meet me tomorrow when he's out
for the thing we're gonna do."
Yeah.
He comes out of the shower. Blah 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 blah. He's really hot.
He's really
super
hot in the
super
shower.
hot.
Yes.
This is not a surprise. This is a BL. What are we gonna have? Homely people? No. Okay. He comes out of the shower. He now has bangs, which you know that
revelatory.
that's revelatory.
Revelatory.
No, revelatory. It's a revelation.
It's a revelation story.
Revelatory, not relevatory.
Relevatory
Is relevant.
Relevant. Well, it is
Relevant to my interests,
Honey.
maybe.
Yeah, it aligns with my interests.
Fine.
fine.
So it's relevant and
Revelatory.
Yo, that blunt we smoked earlier. We're not even. This is just us.
This is just us. These are just vibes.
Could you imagine if we did? Horrible. So yes, he looks like Ompawa with
the bangs.
There is a girl on the bed.
Now we do see.
Okay, he's wearing a robe. A very loose robe.
Loosely tied.
It is like. It's a silk robe. Silk is not a. I don't know. I just was like worried it was going to come open.
Yeah.
The robe.
No one was worried that was happening, though. Just us.
Just me.
But there's a woman on the bed. He does get a phone call earlier that's like, oh, hey, you're on your way, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to get dinner? No? Okay, that's fine. I'll see you later then.
He talks her, whoever it is, very sweetly.
Because Xiaofei is like, who would he be talking so sweetly to?
Right.
And she is like... jealous. She's jealous, yeah. Maybe it's a BL.
The Fujo brain.
She is like... well, aren't you going to greet, like a girl in her bed?
A gorgeous girl's laying in your bed and this is how you react? Because he's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
He doesn't make a move.
And she's like, what am I to you then? And he says, little sister. Now, this is the complication because I think it is like...
Well, this is the
little
thing.
Sister, like
This is a family. Mob stuff is family business.
Yes.
She is part of what we find out. She's
famiglia.
Part of, I think, the famiglia, and she's in charge of making the business legitimate.
She's the legitimate face of the business, I think.
Yes. I think he's trying to push them out of the
drug pushing
cartel, whatever. I'm just throwing words out.
Yes. No, I think that's right.
None of this is real.
We see another person later that's involved, but it seems like they are the two main people left.
Yes.
That's in charge.
Yeah.
But the little sister, based on how close she's getting...
Even if it's not... it's weird if it's his little sister.
I don't think it is. I think it... But then I was like...
his cousin, it's still
weird. I was like, I don't think it is. Maybe it's a cousin. But I'm like, well, that is still weird if it was a cousin. So then maybe
I was like, well, maybe it's an in-law and that's not any less weird. There is a point... it's not weird.
It's not a lot because they...
Two things are weird. The line where she says, a gorgeous girl's laying in your bed and this is how you react.
Right.
But I guess you could joke and be like, she's aware of how hot she is.
But it was not jokey.
That's the one where I could be like,
there was not poking
if that was
back
it,
and forth.
then I could be like, okay.
But I will say after that.
It's when she wraps her arms around his head and she's standing on the bed and she's looking down on him. And I was like.
This feels like you may have been former lovers or just friends maybe that are close.
It's too intimate.
It's too intimate,
bitch.
But it's after this, they don't get that intimate anymore. Later in the scene, they're just talking advice. He's like, please, you have to just focus on, because she's worried that you're gonna get in trouble.
You're getting too Xiaofei.
The police is getting closer to you, and also you keep going for the people that we don't want to be involved with anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about me, baby girl.
Miss Daldiva.
You worry about the business.
Babisha.
And just don't worry about me, honey.
Mm-hmm.
But so that it kind of, the intimacy ends pretty much after that. And then the scene later, but it was just weird that's how it started. Because I was like,
I get that it's purposefully a misdirect for the audience to be like, oh, she's a gorgeous girl. There's something, but
in Cherry Magic they did this, right, where it's all Adachi mistaking
right, but that's
an
very
interaction.
Clearly he mistakes it.
Yes.
I'm just a third party omniscient viewer of this episode. I'm not looking at it through another person's perspective.
Right.
So that's why I was like, huh? Zhao Fei catches up with Tang Yi in the elevator. He catches him alone. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about kind of how the East is really leading in terms of technology right now. This show from 2019 purports that there are elevators where you can double click a button if it's already been clicked, and then it will cancel out going to that floor. I am so serious. I need someone to tell me if this is real. First of all, I have a fear of elevators.
Yes.
Yes. It's probably my second biggest fear.
Yeah.
After octopuses. And death. Whatever.
So it's like you're interested in knowing that technology exists, but also terrified that technology exists.
I don't know. Well, first of all, I think it would be a bad idea because anybody could like cancel out a floor that someone else would need to go to.
Right.
I think that alone is a bad idea. It's like the exact opposite of like the Buddy the Elf pressing all the buttons. But I just feel like we don't need to complicate the elevator anymore. I think it's fine that the elevator goes to the floor. No, seriously, listen. This is how elevators work, by the way. Elevators will just go up and down.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? Wait, listen. Because I do think there are people that have never thought about how elevators.
I am so serious right now. I wish I could tell you that this is a bit, but it's not. Adam is so terrified of elevators that the idea of overcomplicating the pulley system of an elevator terrifies it. Like,
I think there are people. Here's what I'm gonna say. I think there are people that think that when they push the call button for an elevator,
it makes it go faster.
No. Definitely there's people who think that, but they're a lost cause. I can't help them. Right. If you press it again, maybe it'll cancel out. Who knows at this point? If you press the call button, it is not going to go. It is not distributed in an order in which it's like, oh, I'm going to go to the floor. It sets it in chronological order of the people that call. First come, first serve. It doesn't do that. It goes. It's just if you're on the way up.
If I'm going to the 7th floor, and then someone comes in and press 4. It stops at 4 first. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. If you're on a floor and you press the call button. I can't believe I'm explaining elevators. You can cut this whole thing, by the way.
No. This will just be the episode. Just this elevator discourse.
If you're going up and you call the elevator. But there's somebody else that comes over and they call the down. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's say they've both been called, but the down called first. If there's already an elevator on its way down, or there's one shaft. Mm-hmm. This is how it makes sense. Okay, there's one shaft. Wait. One shaft, 2 people, same floor, one going up, one going down. Okay? Both have been called. Uh-huh. Whatever direction the elevator is already going is who is going to be picked up first.
Yeah.
So if you ever get in the elevator and it's like going down and then you pass by someone who's like, oh, I'm waiting for it to go up, it's going to come back up after it finishes all the way to whatever is the lowest floor on its list.
The direction is going to the direct. Yes,
it's gonna follow all the direction, and then it's gonna reverse.
So
I think there are people that think elevators do like a cartoon where it just like bounces up and down around.
Scooby-Doo.
But that's not how elevators work. No. I just need to make this announcement for people to know. But this is what I'm saying. This is what,
but going back to
listen. Going back to this. Elevators have that as their programming. Mm-hmm. They have like, if there's an arm in the way, you keep the doors open, right? That's kind of the only things going on with elevators. That's the extent of their programming.
But you're saying the canceling.
I'm saying we don't need to add another thing. When you start complicating technology is when more things go wrong. And as a person who has a fear of elevators generally, which is wild because I did live in a high-rise building at one point. Let's just keep it so clean. If it stops on the floor, like who cares?
The canceling for us was like, okay, if it cancels,
what if you're on floor? What if it's already going up? You press 4. Okay,
what happens here?
4. He presses floor 4.
He cancels it.
But the doors are closed. It's already on its way to the 4th floor. How soon do you have to be I'm worried that it's going to you're going to hit it at the same time and then it's not going to know what to do. And then maybe it just stops. It's not going to drop. That's not how elevators work. I have to tell myself that's how elevators work. But is it going to stop? Are you going to get stuck? Why are we complicating it? This is generally the question. Why are we complicating things? Let's all go back to when elevators had a service guy. There was an elevator porter.
Oh, yeah.
And they would just have a lever, and they were so good at their job, and they would just up, and then they would break, and open the grate, do the thing. Let's go back to that.
Yeah. More jobs.
Why am I going to elevators where I push what floor I want to go to on the lobby?
On the lobby.
On a touchpad.
And then just trust that this elevator is going to take me to wherever.
And it never says, like, here's the floors we're going to. Like, it's just like, 20. And you're like, guess I'm getting off.
And it moves at light speed.
Light speed.
And you're like, well, I don't need it to go this fast.
No. Yeah. I'm not at the Empire State Building. I don't need to get to the top floor in 10 seconds. I'm fine with a little bit of a break. It's nice. It's a nice respite.
All that to say,
I'm very scared of elevators.
Xiaofei catches Tangyi in the elevator.
He cancels floor 4 so that they can spend more time together.
Just like asking like, so where were you? Blah, blah, blah. Are you sure you weren't there? And Tangyi is straight up like, why won't you let 4 years ago? Why won't you let it go?
Is this our third
Enemies to lovers?
In an elevator? Is this our third BL that we've recapped that has an elevator scene? Famously Cherry Magic. I think there's also a scene with...
Is it Only Friends?
With
Boston.
Boston
tries
Top.
to hit on Top again. And
in
then
the
Top
elevator.
is like...
That's when he
punches him or pushes him or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
In the elevator, right?
Yeah. Prime BL.
Seems like maybe a station. Maybe not a station.
Maybe not a station, but a beatitude. Where it's like, it's just a prayer that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I did tell Adam we have to be better at stations. We did not do much stations at Stay With Me.
So. Well, Stay With Me wasn't a BL. It was a bromance.
Girl. Tangyi is so pissed that, they're literally like, it's skinship, right? Like they're like trying to intimidate one another. They're pushing one another to be like, well, I'm going to find out the truth. Da, 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 da. And it's just like back and forth until Tangyi dominates.
He dips me.
Yeah, he dips. Ballroom dancing the samba.
Yeah. Tangyi and Xiaofei. 9.
Bruno Tomioli, a beautiful samba with so much passion in the elevator. Xiaofei, you were dipped with such grace, but the sex in your eyes, Tangyi, a beautiful samba.
That was a good Bruno meets Jose Andres.
Xiaofei.
The question that Xiaofei, we find out, is that what he thinks Tangyi knows that he has not told, the 4 years ago story. Mm-hmm. He thinks Tangyi does actually know who the gunman was. And even though he said, I had no idea who did it, he thinks that was the lie. He thinks all the rest of it is true. He got shot. He almost bled out. Da 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 da.
But he knows who.
But he knows who
officer.
shot the police.
Important to remember. He shows up in his office with the bar from the elevator.
Yeah.
And that's when the chief is like, girl, you're doing desk work. I'm sick of this. Enough. Gnug.
Jack has been released. They're gonna go
meet another someone
mob.
From the Cambodian channels who runs the Cambodian
channels. Yes. In
Lao,
Cambodia.
He's like Lao something, old man something.
Tangyi and Jack and the other one.
Yes, the assistant. But Jack is not in the room.
Right. They have this meeting. Tangyi is like, he wants the names of people from the Xintian group.
Which is the group of his company.
Group.
Yeah.
But he wants to know who the names of the people are that
I think like...
This is what I don't... This is where I'm like...
He's saying the names of the people that were involved in that incident 4 years ago. In that sting.
Uh-huh.
Because he thinks it was a setup because it killed everyone.
Okay.
So they're like people who are trying
this
to
is
like...
genuinely RJ explaining the plot of History Through Trapped in Real Time.
But in the reaction, I was like, he's trying to get the people who probably was like,
Who did it?
who set it up. Because they
lead to who? Because Tang Yi wants to take down whoever set it up.
Whoever set it up and killed the grandfather, or like whoever.
Xiao Fei wants to take down whoever the gunman was, because
The police.
we'll get to that.
Because yes, yeah.
Okay.
They're both trying to.
It's all about 4 years ago.
They're trying to understand what happened 4 years ago.
In 2015. Okay.
The drug lord is
The
like
drug lord, whatever. He disrespects
he's like
him. He calls him old.
Yeah.
Baba.
They have like a stalemate. Or a stand. What is it? A standoff
A standoff.
with the guns.
The guns are drawn.
And then he was like, "No, we said no violence, no guns, or whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't want like anything to come back to it, whatever." So they all put their guns down and says like, well, he basically says like, "You just tell me those names, and like you and Xintian will not. We're done.
Yeah.
Like we are just trying to like leave. We don't want the illegitimate businesses anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really just like, just tell me who they were, so I can find them, and then we'll."
And he agrees.
And he agrees. He says, "We'll give you. Okay, I'll give you the names."
Okay. No. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. So he agrees because that's all he wanted.
Because all he wanted.
Then we see a scene right after where the guy, I don't know his name, but the guy who was the head of that group gets into a car. You hear 2 silencer shots, which is apparently not what an actual silencer sounds like. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you know that he's been killed. So then the next day at the precinct, they're like, "Oh my God, he died.
Did you hear Lao whatever?
Tang Yi
died?
definitely killed him because
He was the last person.
he was the last person to see him." And Xiao Fei in the urinals
in the.
that face each other. I keep like getting into the show, and then something I'm like, oh, it was the weird sister thing,
Right.
Then it was the elevator.
elevators.
Now it's the
And then now
urinals.
it's
I keep being
urinals.
like thrown out of my seat.
Imagine urinals where you have to face each other, and like
I want to explain what I'm saying. There is a median wall, a half wall,
and then
where
urinals
there
on
are
both
urinals,
sides.
and there are like little
Stalls, but just dividers.
like little dividers between each urinal. Fine, but it's a half wall, and they're on both sides of the wall, and they're
So,
not
like
like spaced where it's like in windows.
No.
I don't think that would be better, but they're not. You're straight,
I think it's
if
meant
two
to be
men-
like people can still be talking while peeing.
You don't. There is nothing. There is no reason. There's none. I don't care. I don't care. Bathrooms should be. I don't think bathrooms should be silent, but there should be no talking in bathrooms. No talking in bathrooms. I hate public restrooms. No talking in bathrooms, but there should be music playing in bathrooms.
There should
like maybe like Skrillex or just something loud and obnoxious.
a loud fan.
I'm
The
not
news.
anything.
A horse race. Anything.
Truly. The
Smooth jazz.
the cawing of a crow. I don't
Bossa
know
Nova.
something.
Just I am whenever
guys, we can't have silent bathrooms.
we can't have silent bathrooms, and
We can't.
So you can't do urinals
I
facing each other.
No, and I don't think any sane person should. It's already such a thing for those of you who don't use urinals, which is like half the population.
Yeah.
There is already a politic of like, if there's someone in there, where do you go?
Where do you go?
You don't pick the one next to them. You usually go like all the way to the other end. Unless it's like a half one for like little kids, then you go to the one next to it. So, fine. Ow, that hurt. Okay. What now you're adding another layer instead of just worrying about
now
who's
there's
next
no more
to you.
politics. Just be
Now-
wherever, because I mean it's all open anyway.
Because you need to talk.
Yeah.
There is no conversation that's important enough that I have to have it during
if you're
the
a
90 seconds.
detective-
No. I'm so sad. I will do the Charlotte. No.
But they're fully like giving exposition while he's peeing.
They're doing the thing that I'm mad about, which
Yeah.
is they're talking while they're going to the bathroom. At first, they're just in the restroom. And it's a little bit of like, haha, this is funny.
But then Xiaofei actually pees.
And they play. And Leon is like leaning over the divider.
And he's like, well, why don't you care that
he's
the
getting
Tang Yi was
splashed
there?
on? What is... So funny.
But he is trying to play it cool that like he doesn't care. Which at first I thought he was like, oh, he's playing it off because he genuinely is like, okay, I'm trying to get over it. But no,
well, he doesn't believe that he did it.
Tang Yi was there because he was like, that doesn't sound like
it doesn't make sense.
Yes, he's like, he wouldn't do that.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. I know him because I'm in love with him.
Then they find evidence.
They find a cufflink that
matches.
He's in love with him. Knows that that's Tang Yi's cufflink.
So then he's like, well, I have to find out what happened. Because the chief is like, you can't go chase after him.
Yeah, but he does. He runs away. Oh, he stops him. That's right.
He stops him.
Because
he doesn't meet up with Tang Yi again.
Yeah. Tang Yi is now having a meeting with the little sister and then a new person.
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, the numbers are doing well. He was like specifically like,
oh, yes.
finances are doing well.
Yes, he seems like the accountant.
Or
yes. Something. The bookie.
CFO. Chief Financial Officer.
Sure.
Yeah. Because Tang Yi is CEO, but I do think she is president. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Wow.
I think that's
corporate structure.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there's a meeting with Interpol where Interpol and the local police are going to have to work together.
Okay, well, first it's weird, right? Because Interpol is interested because he was like the leading drug lord in Cambodia or whatever.
Sure. In the channel. But they're just going to use the police for like info. But Interpol's going to do all the work.
Yes.
Which obviously is going to bother Xiaofei.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Which that's the classic like feds trying to like
come in and muscle their way in. Yeah.
So it's funny because Tang Yi and Xiaofei are both doing like we're working for a common goal, but doing it in different ways.
Yes.
We have a common enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it appears now that Interpol and the precinct also have a common goal.
But they know that Xiaofei is going to be a problem. Interpol already knows that Xiaofei is an issue.
Yeah. So it's like, you're not doing anything but like telling us where
You're doing grunt work.
Yeah.
Basically.
Recon.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends.
That's not where it ends.
You're right. There's a little stinger.
We then find out that Xiaofei's mom, it seems like, was the police officer who was killed.
He has this like steampunk ass music box.
Oh, it's like a puzzle box.
Yeah.
Which is like
Labyrinth, bitch.
Yes.
And then a woman's police ID is in it. And then they pan into a photo on his desk of like him basically
his first day
as a police officer with her. So
it's definitely his mom.
We can deduce that the mom probably was the one that died in that incident 4 years ago.
So then he definitely shouldn't be on this case.
He definitely should not be working on this case. If I was the chief, I would be like, just from conflict of interest alone, you're not allowed to go near this case.
Yeah.
But he's so stressed. The chief is so stressed with his daughter getting married that he
didn't even think about it. Sure. I actually didn't see any
stations.
Well, this is interesting because it's our second one that has the couple is in the elevator. Only Friends had an elevator scene,
but it wasn't a couple.
It was an elevator scene. It was a scene that took place in an elevator. Right. It wasn't an elevator scene. Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Well, there was the whole Mew and Boeing too. Remember that was also an elevator.
Were they in an elevator?
Yes, because they both ended up pressing the same floor.
Yes,
at the top.
That's definitely a trope.
Yes,
of like people going to the same floor.
Yeah, I'll give it to Tang Yi.
Okay,
I believe that he is cold, but like there is something in his eyes and his performance that are like, I am trying to do good for a reason.
Yeah, I mean it's harder.
It's harder because his motive isn't clear yet. Like we don't know. And I think he's doing a good job of being very like.
It's a weird role because it's good guy mob boss.
Yes,
which is like a kind of an oxymoron.
And you don't know like We don't know if Jack was the one who killed the drug lord, technically, but
Right.
it all leads up to it being Jack.
Right.
So, which means then he gave that order.
It definitely seems like it was a setup.
Yes.
All the other families are probably realizing that he's slowly taking them down one by one, so they're going to band together to get rid of him. Is my guess of what's going to happen. That's my guess.
The CFO gave me some like
CFO
vibes.
definitely, for sure.
And the assistant too. The assistant was like pissed that Jack was doing everything, which that was weird.
But I think that's supposed to set up that I think you're supposed to deduce from that, like, he thinks Jack is kind of a loose cannon. So that's why you're supposed to be like, oh, Jack might be the one who actually did the killing.
Oh,
because they say Jack wasn't there. For me, it's Leon. It's probably going to be Leon for the next 10 weeks.
Because he's giving you the comedy, the levity.
He's great. He's great.
I
He's
mean,
nailing the amount of comedy that it needs to be without
I will say though, I
being
like
overboard.
I do like Xiao Fei's performance so far.
Yeah, that is Jake Shu, and Tang Yi is Chris Wu.
I think
Andy Bian, Kenny Chen.
it's definitely like exposition heavy in this first episode, so it's
a
tough
lot
to see the characters yet.
Yeah.
But I think Xiao Fei is doing a good job of being.
I thought that scene right at the end with looking at the box
was really nice.
Good. Yeah.
But he's doing a good job of managing the reality of like why he's doing this, but then also like managing the chemistry that he has with Leon of like the goofiness.
I also think it's interesting because this is like kind of the first one that we're recapping where the two leads are different, but they are not. They are similar energies. Like usually there is like a stronger, weaker kind of like.
But here they're both butting heads.
Very intense.
Yes,
and not even in a way. Like semantic error, obviously, is a enemies to lovers, but that's still there's like a visual like one's taller, one's like
here it's like they're just
like short. You know what I mean?
Here it just feels like who's gonna get to the other one first.
Yeah,
they're not like evenly matched, but they're matched enough that it doesn't feel like
they're definitely not the same character. One like Tang Yi is very like clearly cold and aloof, quieter, and Xiao Fei is like, a little more messy. Headstrong. Yeah.
Like leads with
I loved his apartment.
I know.
I loved his apartment.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well,
I'm sad.
I'm excited to find out more about this murder.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to flash back? Oh, I guess there was technically a mystery in Stay With Me, but girl.
There was too many.
Stay With Me had 12 things going on.
All right.
Great. See you next week.
I'll just go back to my book.